Today, let's talk about the HK Mark 23. Let's get it out of the way. This thing is huge. It's comically large. It's been 5-6 years since I've handled a Desert Eagle, but that's about the size of this thing. Okay? Let's just go over the size first and then I'll get into the rest. I don't think anyone's going to argue a full-size 1911 is a pretty big gun. It's not unmanageable by any stretch, but it's a large gun. No one's going to complain about that or argue about that. This Mark 23 dwarfs it. Check this out. Mark 23 on top and just a full-size 1911. Take a look at just how much larger that Mark 23 really is. Just so that you have that size comparison. This thing is big. And here's a Glock 17, full-size Glock. Equally as blocky, but nowhere near as large, right? Okay. So, for all the size of this thing, and I will say the ergonomics on this are actually fairly good, where the controls are. I'll get into that in a bit, but for the size of this thing, the grip is much smaller than I would have thought. The width of the grip is fine. It's a double stacked 45, so it is definitely wider than a 1911 or a Glock 17, but it works. I have normal size hands, but I can get a decent grip on this thing, okay? That doesn't bother me. What's bothersome to me on this is the length right here. I feel like my fingers are getting crowded on this grip. It's not long between the bottom of that grip and the base of that trigger guard. Just as an example. When we go over here to my 1911, I've got room. Okay? So that grip seems a little bit shorter, and it makes this gun feel a little awkward. Controls-wise, you've got your standard safety. You can't really ride it, but it's your standard ambidextrous thumb safety. That's fine. You've got your slide release. It's in the same position as a 1911. It has a decocker right here. I've heard other people complain, designed by committee, we're just throwing all the features in here. Who gives a damn? It doesn't matter. This decocker's out of the way. It's nice to have. I don't have an issue with that. The safety is perfectly fine. It's in the same position as a 1911, so if you're used to it, it completely works. There's no problem there. The slide stop, again, same position as 1911. It's something you're probably familiar with. I wouldn't worry about that. And the nice thing with this decocker is it's completely out of the way. It's very flush. So when you put your thumb up here, you really don't notice that it's there unless you're reaching for it. Okay, so cock it, and then if you catch it with the edge of your thumb, it'll decock it pretty quietly, which is nice. So I don't like how, let's start with, I don't have a lot of rounds through this yet. I just picked it up right before Thanksgiving on Wednesday. Found an awesome deal online. Someone wanted to get rid of it, so got this and a bunch of magazines for a really good deal. So picked it up, and I was able to go take it out on Saturday. Go through, just call it 70, 100 rounds, I don't know. Not too much, under 100 rounds. It shoots really nice. I do like it. It's a very soft shooting pistol. This thing's supposedly known for its accuracy. Just like all my other guns, it's more accurate than I am. I'm not putting it on a bench rest. I didn't notice any issues with it. I had a few other people shoot it. They loved it. They thought it was a novelty and actually shot pretty well. But here's the thing I don't like. You can't use this to get a good modern grip. Let me show you what I mean. Here's my 1911. I typically ride my thumb on the safety. And I do this on my 1911 as well as my 2011 for competitions. On the competition, I have a little gas pedal right here, and so I put my thumb there. On the 1911, I keep it right there, right where the frame and the slide meet, okay? Most of you probably do something similar, okay? And even if I'm not riding that safety, I can still get my thumb up here and have a good grip, right? On this Mark 23, I can't really ride the safety because of where this cut is and where that safety is. I can't ride that very well. Okay, no problem. We just get our thumb up and push this support hand into here. Problem is, my support hand wants my thumb to be down below where this frame is. You can see I want to be down here. I can't easily get the grip that I'm used to on this gun. I have to modify my grip with this gun quite a bit. And I'm angling my thumb more up than forward. If I keep it forward like I do on the 1911, I'm riding the trigger guard and it's just not good. So the ergonomics in terms of how you grip the gun, it's just a little awkward. It's not what I'm used to. It's not necessarily bad. It's more an observation. So my grip on this is just not the way that I would prefer it to be. Okay? But all that being said, it's a completely manageable gun. Yes, it's big, it's heavy, it absorbs a ton of recoil. It's exactly what you'd expect from that. It's pretty cool. You'll see I do have this additional rail adapter. So HK has underneath here what they call a universal rail. It's basically two slots, no grooves, or no teeth, if you want to call it that. And then the HK universal thing, you would slide an attachment onto this, and then you would screw it into the front of the grip. You can see the screw right here on this adapter, and it just screws in to the front of that trigger guard. So, this one came with a Picatinny rail adapter so that I could mount a flashlight or whatever. The problem is, with flashlight mounted on here, you can't actually activate it from your grip. Take a look. So, when I grip, my thumb is well behind that front of the trigger guard. Your switches are basically lined up with the front of that trigger guard. And it doesn't matter if I have this rail adapter on here or not. I can't get the switches back far enough for me to reach them without taking my support hand off and moving it. So, you know, on a Glock, when I mount a light on a Glock, those switches are right here. I'm able to activate them very easily. Actually able to do it either side. Do it this finger or with my thumb. Doesn't matter. Can't do that with this Mark 23. I believe that when this thing was designed in the early 90s, I think it was 91, something like that, when it was designed for SOCOM, their proprietary LEM, laser aiming module, it had a switch below the trigger guard. So you could activate it down here. I believe that's how that worked, at least the photos I've seen. So, you know, that's just something to be aware of. All right. This thing, just by the way it's designed, it has a very high bore axis. So when you shoot, it definitely wants to flip a bit. That and then this crowded grip and me not being able to get my thumb comfortably up here on the upper part of the frame. It definitely wants to flip a bit. Not a big deal. It's still completely manageable. It comes right back on target. It's, again, more of an observation than anything. It has the European-style paddle release for the magazine, just like most HKs. You can see just the paddle right here. You could use it, your support hand, use your thumb, but I believe that the way they're intended to be is after you're done shooting, you just move your trigger finger down and smash that down. Drops the mag real easy. At least that's how I've been doing it. It seems to work better for me that way, so I got no issues with that. This is threaded for a suppressor. I do not have a suppressor currently, but I did ask my FFL to throw one on order, so when I get that, 8 months, we'll go ahead and give it a try, see what we think. Next thing let's talk about is the trigger. This is a double action, single action gun, meaning you can go ahead and pull the trigger in double action, or in single action. Okay, so double action, very long, very heavy trigger, probably about 12 pounds. And it's a very long trigger, but it's very smooth. It definitely feels like it gets heavier right around there before it's going to break. And it breaks clean. I mean, it's a nice, smooth trigger, just very heavy. Okay, not a problem. It works. In single action, you've got a lot of play up front. Okay, but you come to this nice little wall, and it's got a nice crisp break. 5 or 6 pounds. It's similar to the weight you'd get on a Glock. This is not a competition trigger. I think they call it a match trigger. I don't know that I'd go that far. It's nice. For a service pistol, it's plenty good. It's just... there's nothing great about it, but it's not bad at all. It is fairly nice, okay? I'm coming from a world of 1911s, and yeah, this isn't a 1911 trigger. I still can't get over just how huge this damn thing is. It's ridiculously large. But it does shoot well. It is a very cool piece of weaponry. I do enjoy it. I don't know that it's worth twice as much as, you know, like a USP or something, because you can get a normal size, service size pistol, the USP Tactical, for about half of what this thing costs. I don't really have a good use for this, just because it's so large. You're not going to carry this for concealed carry. Maybe you're going to go and take it to the range as a range toy. I get that. For me, it was just something that I've just always thought was kind of cool. So I picked it up just more as a novelty than anything else. A functional one, but just a novelty. I don't have any real purpose for it. But it is nice. It's just very cool. I like when you take this thing down. It's really neat just how heavy duty and over engineered this whole thing is. I want to say that they had 30,000 round test of plus P ammo when they were trying to put this in service, and nothing broke. And it would go around 6,000, 5,000, 6,000 rounds between any failures. So, you know, it's supposed to be a very reliable gun. I know I watched a video a year or two back. Collier Noir was talking about this as the pistol he would take if he had to take a trip to hell. You know? Yeah, probably. I think I would be with him on that. I'm on board with that. You want something that is durable and is going to work in all conditions. You know, I think this is definitely up there for that. But in the end, you know, in the real world, this is more a novelty than anything else. It is cool. It is neat. It shoots well. I don't think it's a joke gun, almost like a Desert Eagle, because this thing actually is reliable and is usable. It's just so damn big. You're going to be carrying it as a duty arm, but even then it's still larger than it needs to be for that. So it was made for a very specific use case, and you know, as a civilian, I'm never going to have anything like that. So I don't even think I would call this a backpacking gun, you know, or a hiking gun. You know, when you're out hiking and you've got bears and bobcats and cougars or whatever the hell's out there. I don't think that I'd even carry this for that. I'd just use my old 44 Magnum revolver for that. But this is a cool piece. It is built very well. I'm surprised at the trigger on it. I do like that. I can't wait to get a suppressor on here and give that a try. I was a little bit surprised at just the checkering and the grip overall. It's nowhere near as aggressive as I thought it would be, and like I'd already mentioned, the length of this grip between the base and the trigger guard is much smaller than I thought it would be. It crowds the fingers, makes you feel, I don't know, it just, I would expect with a gun this size that the grip would be a little bit longer. Let's put it that way. But cool piece, really like it, really well made, has a reputation for being very reliable. All of the ergonomics in terms of where the controls are, it's exactly where you'd expect it if you're coming from a 1911. So no problem there. Anyway, in the end, it's a cool piece. If you get a chance to shoot one, go try it out. You'll have a smile on your face. It is fun. It is just regular 45, but it is a lot of fun. Anyway, with that, hope you found that interesting. Hope you found it useful. Take care, and we'll do it again another day.